Hey, this is Pete, or Kenshin1913, and we are doing a brand new Getting to Know Kenshin1913. And as you can see from this vest, we're going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart. The Warriors. Come out and play! Yes, this is an actual Warriors vest. I'm going to put it on, because that's what I do. I put on Warriors vests, because I am D-Pad, the Warrior. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the Warriors today on Getting to Know Kenshin1913, and yeah, my love for it. And see, the thing is, I was just going to do an episode about, I love movies, but I figured that's too general. I want to sink it down, so I'm going to talk about individual movies that I like. I won't go through everything, but I will go through some stuff. So let's talk about the Warriors, one of my favorite action/thriller movies of all time. Pretty much it was a movie made in 1979 by Walter Hill. See, with these Getting to Know Kenshin1913s, I'm going to try and educate you a little bit while also explaining why I love things. Excuse me. It was made in 1979 by Walter Hill. It's based on a book by Saul Urich in 1965 about this group of characters, as I'll explain. And that book is sort of based on this Greek novel or whatever called Anabasis by Xenophon. He was a Greek soldier guy and a writer. Anyways, what that story is pretty much about, and what the Warriors is pretty much about, is about a group of people who get caught behind enemy lines, and what they have to do is travel a huge distance in order to make it back home. That's what Anabasis is about. But the Warriors is really about the group, a gang, from Coney Island. They're called the Warriors, of course. They get a summon from this guy named Cyrus, who's the head of the Gramercy Rifts. There's various, it's pretty much like a futuristic New York City, and pretty much the gang, all these gangs rule New York, there's tons of different gangs and stuff, and one of the gangs is the Warriors. One is the Gramercy Rifts. There's the Rogues. There's the Baseball Furies, the Lizzies, the AC Turnbulls. There's a whole bunch. I'm not gonna get into all of them, but yeah. So this group from Coney Island gets a summon from Cyrus. Everyone actually gets a summon from Cyrus. They go to this meeting, and in the meeting, this guy Cyrus talks about how he wants to unify all of the gangs together, because if they do, they'll be unstoppable and they wouldn't be able to be messed with by the man. So everyone sort of agrees with this, but actually one guy, his name is Luther, and he's part of the Rogues. He's a gang member from the Rogues. He shoots Cyrus and kills him. So amidst all and then the police come, and amidst all this craziness, the Warriors have to get out. So they the guy Luther pretty much pins it on the Warriors, and so everyone thinks that they killed Cyrus. So every gang in New York is trying to get after the Warriors, or just trying to return to their own home turf after seeing this meeting, and then pretty much being framed into doing said act, which they didn't do, obviously. Anyways, so the story goes, and they're trying to escape, and they run through a bunch of different rival gangs as they try to head back to Coney Island. So let me talk about the actual Warriors, as I'll just name off some of the more notable members. There's Cleon. He's the leader. He's got this cool headband thingy on, and he's really awesome. He's the leader, played by Dorsey Wright. I'll only name a couple of the guys. Swan, he's basically the second in command. He's called the War Chief, and he's played by Michael Beck. Then there's Ajax. He's the fighter guy. He's rash and all kinds of shit. His name, he's James Remar. The actor who plays him, James Remar. He's probably one of the more famous guys to come out of that movie. Then you have Snow. He's this guy. He's kind of got a huge afro. You got Cochise. He's kind of the black guy who's got Indian things all around him, who's pretty cool. Cowboy. He's got a cowboy hat. That's why he's called the cowboy, I guess. Then you got Rembrandt. He basically tags things and stuff. You got Vermin, who's a pretty good fighter, and then Fox, who's kind of like the lookout guy. And so yeah, their home base is Coney Island. They're trying to get back to that. And yeah, it's just a really, really good movie, and I really enjoy it. It's like it's a cult movie because when it first came out, it didn't do as well as it did. But once it hit like home video following and stuff like that, similar to like Princess Bride and some other cult movies that you might have watched, pretty much it became a big cult hit, and everyone loves it. They actually earlier this year, if you're watching this in 2015, I believe the beginning of October, maybe the end of September, they actually had someone ended up getting all the Warriors together, or most of the Warriors together to this convention down in Coney Island, and it was pretty neat. I didn't get a chance to go, but I would have loved to see them. And then they made a video of the Warriors, the remaining Warriors getting on the train going back to Coney Island, so it was kind of cool. But so one of the reasons why I love this movie is just because I really like the style, the artistic kind of style that the movie was in. Like, I just loved the fact that like there was this one point where the Warriors were trying to get home, and one of the rival gangs was like, okay, you could go through our turf, but you have to take off your colors, which is pretty much your gang, the thing that pretty much makes you like part of the gang. You know, you're pretty much, they want them to take off their vest, and like, nah, fuck that, and then they left. And I just think a lot of the characters in the movie are pretty memorable. Like, one of my favorites is probably Ajax, even though he ends up getting arrested and stuff. He's still pretty awesome because he's brash. He's kind of like one of those, you know, like tough guys and shit. But one of the other great things, I haven't read the book, but I do plan on reading the book. But one of the great things about this game, or about the movie, was it was turned into a game in 2005 by Rockstar Games, and they pretty much made the ultimate beat 'em up game in the essence of like a Streets of Rage kind of brawling game, like a Double Dragon or whatever. They pretty much made a 3D version of it where you can play as all the Warriors. Now, in that game, majority of the people did reprise their roles to do the voices and stuff, and yeah, it's amazing. So in the beginning of that game, you pretty much play as all the Warriors. You get to play as them, and it's kind of like backstory. And then, like a third of the way through the game, or 2/3 of the way through the game, you get to play as the actual. You get to play as different characters through the movie. So it's pretty awesome. Some of the stuff that I really loved about the movie was like, I loved the soundtrack, and then there's this cool DJ who popped up, and she's like pretty much spreading the word about where the Warriors were, and that she'd like play all this music. And another group that I really enjoyed in the Warriors was these guys called the Baseball Furies, who were dressed up like baseball guys with like face paint and stuff. And they fought the Warriors in the park. It was freaking amazing. It's just a great movie. So I love the fact that they took this terrific movie, made it into an amazing video game, and yeah, I just love it. And actually, one of the other things I love about the movie is the poster, which I want to get one day. Is they got this amazing poster of like all these rival gangs and stuff, and it's just really awesome poster. And I saw it at a convention one time, and I was like, oh man, I should get that, but I just didn't end up getting around to doing it. But it is a great movie, and I highly suggest, if you like like action, the pacing's really good, and even the end is a little anticlimactic, but it's still really good, and it's just a really good movie. And I don't really have anything else to say. I think that's pretty much it. I think you should check out The Warriors. If you haven't checked it out, I highly suggest it. So I won't highly suggest every movie, but this might be one that you might want to check out if you can. I believe it still might be on Netflix. If you haven't checked out the movie, maybe you can get the game, and you kind of experience the movie in the game, which is really, really good. And I'm trying to think of what else. Pretty much it for Warriors. They're gonna go out and play, and I'm gonna go out and do whatever I do. But yeah, so Leave some comments in the comment section talking about Warriors. Maybe your favorite your favorite moment from the movie, or your favorite moment from even the game, or anything Warriors related. Let's talk Warriors, because the Warriors are the shit. And I really think like the Lebowski Fest that they have. If you've ever seen the Big Lebowski, now they have like an annual Lebowski Festival where they everyone gets together. They dress up like things from the Lebowski, and they bowl and have White Russians and watch the movie and shit. I really think they could do a Warriors Fest and get the people together to do that, because it's just amazing. And I think it has such a cult following that they could probably do something like that. So anyways, this has been Peter Kenshin1913. I'll see you in the next Getting to Know Kenshin1913. Warriors!